Right now, primary day in Wisconsin and the state Supreme Court race shines in the spotlight. We're breaking down the 4 candidates on the ballot and where they stand on the big issues.
Also, another earthquake rocks Turkey. We're sharing ways that you can help this morning through a Madison business owner whose heart hurts for his homeland.
And Winter Storm Watch is already posted for southern Wisconsin starting tomorrow. We'll talk about more on this winter storm coming up.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Shane Hogan. Again, 2 big stories today, primary day, and of course, that winter storm that is headed our way. Kelly Slifka breaking it down for us this morning.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the biggest storms that we've had so far this season, and it's going to be really affecting a lot of the upper Midwest. So we're going to be right on the edge of it because as you get down toward Illinois, we're going to see very little effects with it, maybe a little bit of icing right along the border, but then some heavy snows up to the north. Either way, we all are under winter storm watches starting tomorrow afternoon, a little sooner to the west. And that'll continue right into Thursday afternoon into the evening commute. So it's a long duration event. We've got the colder air working in. We had a cold front pass through overnight. Really stirred up the winds and brought in some of the colder temperatures right now. 17 in Madison, 17 in the Dells, 16 in Lone Rock, 18 in Mineral Point. So we do have an alert day starting tonight. There will be some lighter snow, mainly Madison areas to the north. And then I think mainly tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, that's when we're really going to get the deal going on with some snow, sleet, and freezing rain. And areas to the south, especially into Rock and Greene County, some ice accumulation, some significant ice accumulation. Then as we go through Thursday, heavy snow north of Madison. Madison right in between. We'll see kind of a bit of both. So starting off quiet this morning, it is chilly with teens. We'll rise through the 20s into the noon hour and top out in low 30s. So a little bit colder. As we get in the early evening hours, starting to see some of that light snow spread in, mainly Madison areas to the north. A lot of that will wind down, and then we'll get into some quieter weather, at least for the overnight, before things really get going Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll look at temperatures in the teens this morning, rising through the 20s, that northwest wind diminishing. More on the storm coming up.
Kelly. Well, the stakes are high this morning, folks. Polls for the February primary open up in less than an hour.
That's right. The race for state Supreme Court gets most of the attention today since it's the only statewide race on the ballot. The outcome could tip the currently conservative-leaning court the opposite way. The candidates are Milwaukee County Judge Janet Protasewicz, Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell, Waukesha County Judge Jennifer Dorow, and former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly. The 2 top vote getters today will advance to April's general election.
News 3 Now has been focused on providing honest, concise, and nonpartisan profiles on each candidate.
Our political reporter Will Keneally has the breakdown.
It's that unspoken game that candidates always play. They're running as judge, so they aren't supposed to make any political statements. But at the same time, they're trying to win over voters, many of whom consider themselves either Republicans or Democrats. So we'll tell you what they are saying on the campaign trail so you can get a better sense of where these candidates stand. Starting first with Milwaukee Judge Janet Protasewicz.
I was in a position where I could not sit on the sidelines and sit back and watch, in my opinion, extreme right-wing radicals win that seat.
One of the clearest cut positions we've seen a candidate take on the issues comes from Protasewicz. During our one-on-one sit-down with her, we asked her about some of the issues that we know will come before the court, like legislative redistricting. She wasn't afraid to tell us what she thinks.
I think when you have values of fairness, you have a value that everybody's vote should count, that in a democracy, everybody should be heard, it resonates. So while I can't say how I would particularly vote on an issue, I can tell you those values would be brought into the Supreme Court chamber with me.
And that's on top of ads that she's running right now talking about a woman's right to choose on the issue of abortion. Compare that with former Justice Dan Kelly. We asked him a similar question.
And this is where there's a line on what I can address as a judicial candidate.
He's very careful not to nod one way or another in his public statements. But what do we know from his record on the bench? He's part of a reliable conservative voting bloc. For example, he wrote one of the opinions that struck down the governor's stay-at-home orders during the pandemic. And broadly, he says that he defers to the legislature on these kind of issues.
Legislature is the one to lead public policy for the state. And then the other 2 branches, the work they do, that's all derivative of what the legislature does.
Kelly is one of 2 candidates that are backed by conservatives in this race. The other is Judge Jennifer Dorow. She's a judge in Waukesha County, and you likely know her from the Darrell Brooks trial last year. On her background, we have some of her application materials when she first applied to be a judge a decade ago. In her application, she says that she disagrees with a U.S. Supreme Court case that protected gay men, striking down a sodomy law in Texas.
Sometimes the words or even the statutes themselves are stupid. But stupid doesn't mean unconstitutional. It doesn't matter to my job whether I like the words or even to agree with the law.
She says that she would be willing to uphold laws that she disagrees with, as long as they are constitutional. Now, the other candidate with liberal backing in this race, Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell. He's a background working with juvenile cases in Dane County, but would also be the first black justice elected to the court after Lewis Butler was appointed but lost his first election bid in 2008.
I think as an African American, thinking about how the Constitution was framed without us, even the idea of slavery that was not included in the very language of the Constitution itself, but yet was a reality of it. You want a document that both speaks to the living opportunities for how, our culture will change, and how does that mean for us.
And these are the candidates, all vying for the top 2 spots in the February primary. Now, the top 2 candidates, regardless of party affiliation, will advance to the April general election. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
More campaign 2023 coverage now. Today, Madison voters will narrow down the choices for mayor. Incumbent Santi Rhodes Conway is on the ballot, trying for a second term. She's up against Gloria Reyes, a former president of the Madison School Board, and Scott Kerr, a longtime city employee.
You can find everything you need to know today about today's election up on channel3000.com. Just look for the campaign 2023 section on the homepage. That's just below the plan by day forecast. We've compiled all of the races we're following, as well as everything you need to know to make your choice at the polls. That includes all of the interviews we've done with the candidates leading up to today's election.
Continuing coverage now, overseas this morning. 6.3 magnitude aftershock struck southern Turkey, killing at least 3 people and injuring hundreds more. This, of course, comes after a massive earthquake 2 weeks ago that killed tens of thousands in the region. People there are finding solutions, though, even from afar. And one of those solutions is from right here in Madison. For the last 12 years, the Turkish community has found a piece of home here in Madison at Istanbul Market on the west side. In the last 2 weeks, the owner of the market is giving back to Turkey.
Everybody who hear about this problem, everybody call me, how we can help you. And everybody see bugs, how much they can, they always put to donate.
Tarov says donations are the best way to help right now because victims need money as they begin to rebuild. We have links to donate yourself up at channel3000.com this morning.
6:07 developing in Beloit, an active homicide investigation after a woman was found shot to death Monday morning. She was found on Porter Avenue just before 9 a.m. Monday and died at the scene. So far, details are very limited, including anything about a potential suspect. It's unclear what led to the shooting, but police say there is no threat to the community.
Well, despite the winter weather headed our way, the deadline to remove permanent ice shanties is fast approaching. There's still a couple of weeks before inland lake shanties need to be removed. Because ice fishing season is drawing to a close, take a look at this. Some fishermen out on Monona, just a lot of them, they're trying to soak in what's left of the season right before it gets too warm. And as the sun continues to heat up the ice on Lake Monona, the fishermen are preparing to close out the season safely.
You don't like risking it with anything close to thin, so it's usually been above 7 inches, I'd say.
The ice has been super sloppy every now and then. It's still safe ice at the moment, and as long as it's safe ice, I'll be out here.
You can find a full list of all the dates that permanent ice shanties have to be removed on the DNR's website. 6:08 now, coming up. The critical second half of the NBA season is about to get underway, and we have an injury update on the Bucks' big man.
And Fat Tuesday in the 608 is finally here, and we're live at Lane's Bakery where the line is already heading out the door, dark and early here. We're going to show you how you can get your punchkis and celebrate coming up.
It would appear that the butler did it. But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get a low $359 per month lease on the 2023 Nissan Rogue.
Catch these offers while you can.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Brien, owner of The Healthy Place. I'm excited to tell you about our new Wild Theory CBD products that will get you high fives from everyone you know. Wild Theory's new groundbreaking formula has higher levels of the good stuff, and it packs surprising results. Is it legal in Wisconsin? Of course! Is it potent? You bet. Will you love it? I'm sure of it. Stop by one of our Madison locations or visit findyourhealthyplace.com, type in high five, and our website will hook you up.
After violence turned Waukesha's Christmas parade into tragedy, Judge Jennifer Doro ensured justice was served, maintaining order, protecting the rights of victims. Her grace under fire won praise nationally. Now Judge Jennifer Doro is ready to serve on the Supreme Court. Wife, mother, prosecutor. Judge Doro's life's work is keeping Wisconsin families safe. It's no surprise Judge Doro is law enforcement's choice. The tested judicial leader, Judge Jennifer Doro for Supreme Court.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
The Wisconsin Fishing Expo returns to the Alliant Energy Center in Madison February 24th through the 26th, stocked with over 330 booths, plus nearly every fishing boat imaginable. Load up with deals now. It's the Wisconsin Fishing Expo's largest seminar roster ever, with topics for almost any species, over 20 seminars. Check out kids' activities, including the trout pond, fish bingo, and bumper boats. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Sponsored by Wisconsin Outdoor News, Blackfish, Daiwa, Lucas Oil, Acme, the Big 1070, and Don's Marine.
It would appear that the butler did it.
But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on select models.
Catch these offers while you can.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
All right, in the 608 this morning, we are celebrating Fat Tuesday.
That's right. Josh Sprider is live at Lane's Bakery here in Madison with how they're getting ready. Hey, Josh.
Hey guys, good morning. Doors are officially open on this Fat Tuesday at Lane's. Check out the line. People were waiting down the street here as doors were opening just moments ago at 6 o'clock this morning, getting ready to celebrate Fat Tuesday here, which is a huge tradition at Lane's Bakery. Chuck Lane himself is up early with us. You've been up overnight helping all of the team members really pull off what's one of the biggest days of the year for you.
It is, actually, it's bigger than Christmas now.
Really?
And it's one day. Christmas kind of is a
Spread
few
out,
days
yeah.
before, but you know, one day and without the team, we wouldn't be able to do this, you know.
So you see people, you know, and you've been doing this for close to 40 years, and you still see people lining out the door. I mean, as a business owner, how does that make you feel?
Really proud, you know, that, you know, I can make a product that people really enjoy, and you can feel it, you know, I mean, it's great.
It's just that excitement that you can see. Obviously, people getting up extra early to make sure they get here. There was one lady that was in line. She's like, I saw you on TV in the 608 this morning. Had to come down here because this is something for really the whole community to celebrate.
It is. And you know, and I just like to see people happy. And this is, I mean, it's a great turnout. It gets bigger every year.
This is happiness to me.
Oh, yeah,
Seeing
it
this.
is.
So, of course, you've got the punchkis, you've got the king cake, you've got the voodoo dolls, and you had mentioned earlier the punchkis, you had to double this year.
Yeah, double punchis and actually double king cakes.
Wow.
So,
I mean, when you think of that, like, to where we were even a couple of years ago at the pandemic to where you are now,
right.
How far you've come.
It's unbelievable, you know. And Fat Tuesday never used to be that big. And it just, every year, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
So you had, obviously, a bunch of pre-orders, which is now over. So you had a bunch of pre-orders going out. So what is left here is first come, first served.
Well, and there's still orders to be picked up. They have all the orders lined, and actually, we're still packing orders. So
wow.
It's crazy.
It's been a busy morning.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, like you mentioned, too, is like this is a team effort. Like, you need all of these folks behind you working hard to be able to be successful.
Without everybody here, it wouldn't happen. You know, I couldn't do it myself. I wish I could say I could.
Nobody can be that great, right? No. You need a team. Okay, so people are interested. When do they need to be down here by?
We're going to try to keep stuff in the case as long as we can. You know, we got more. We're going to start frying really soon, but eventually they'll run out.
So the sooner the better you can get here.
And with king cakes, we do have some available. We had to stop taking pre-orders because we were overwhelmed. And we've never had this many go out. So
it's good to see.
It is. It's
good
great.
To see.
It's great.
Well, Chuck, thank you so much for having us in.
Thank you for coming in.
We're going to have a little taste in our next segment, right? Because I got to try something. You know I like to get messy. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned to see what we have our hands in store for on 645, guys.
Can't wait to see that, Josh. Thank you.
All right, 6:15 now. Let's get to Kelly Slifka in your first one forecast. It's a alert day. Kelly Slifka.
Yeah, we've got several in a row actually coming our way, starting tonight and especially tomorrow into Thursday. I think most people will see that going forward, especially tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. That's when things will really get sloppy. Now, some snow tonight, and this is going to be mainly from Madison areas to the north. This will be moving in after the sun goes down into the Madison area. That'll continue mainly north of Madison. Then we'll start to see some of this mixed with some sleet, some freezing rain. This is going to cause some icing, especially areas to the south. Some ice accumulation really could cause some problems, not only on the roads, but the trees and obviously the power lines as well. Heavy snow expected, especially north of Dane County as you get up toward the Dells. Once you get north of the Dells, could be talking about a foot. You get near the Illinois border, might not even pick up an inch. So that's the wide range of weather we're expecting over the next several days. All right, the wind chills. We had a cold front pass through, so the temperatures have dropped. Now the wind chill, when you factor in that wind, it feels like 4 in Madison up toward the Dells. Temperature still 25 in Janesville, but I expect that to drop a few more degrees here shortly. 17 in Madison, 18 right now in the Adells across Dane County, 18 in Cottage Grove, Sun Prairie, 17 in Waunakee and Cross Plains, down to 16 in Mount Horeb. So we have the winter storm watches. These go into effect starting tomorrow afternoon and to Thursday afternoon. Already have blizzard warnings out in Minnesota. Winter storm warnings extend into west central Eau Claire. This is the area right here I think could be talking about 1 to 2 feet of snow when all is said and done. We're quiet now, looking at a little bit of sun. The clouds will thicken up this afternoon as we get toward the sunset or so. We'll start to see some of that lighter snow spread in, mainly from Madison areas to the north. That'll be lifting up to the north, but they could see a couple, 3 inches of snow up toward the Adells. As we look forward, maybe an inch at best here in the Madison area. That's with that Clipper system moving on through tonight. Tomorrow we'll start off quiet. But as we go into the late morning, early afternoon hours, snow mixing with some freezing rain and sleet. You see that pink coming across the border here. Some significant icing here in Rock and Greene County expected, and that'll continue just about all Wednesday afternoon long, Wednesday night, even into Thursday morning. Eventually, these systems should be moving on out as we go into Thursday afternoon, but not before dumping some really heavy snow. And we'll also watch that ice accumulation down in the south. Could be talking upwards of a quarter-inch ice accumulation, maybe even a little bit more than that. We might see some light accumulation in the Madison area, but I think mainly that's going to be staying to our south. Snowfall accumulation 3 to 6 in the Madison area, less down in the south, but as you get up toward the Dells, north of the Dells, could be almost upwards of a foot of snow. So a lot going on, a lot to talk about over the next couple of days. Snow developing late, so we've got some time to prepare, and it looks like that'll be really going downhill. The weather tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, that's when we're going to see some of that icing. The snow will really be picking up in intensity, continuing on and off Thursday morning primarily. A cold Friday, but we do warm up with some sunshine this weekend.
All right, strap in, folks. Here it comes. Thanks, Kelly. All right, your sports director, Zach Hanley, with your morning sports.
It appears Jim Leonhard won't be taking a year off from coaching, or at least he doesn't want to. The former Badger DC interviewed with the Eagles for their defensive coordinator opening. Now remember, it's not the first time the NFL has come calling. Back in 2021, he turned down the Packers DC position to stay at Wisconsin. Leonhard played 10 seasons in the league before returning to Madison. Tuesday against Michigan, Connor Essegian couldn't miss. The Badger sharpshooter dropped a career-high 23 points in UW's win. Saturday, he could not buy a bucket. Essegian went 0 for 7 from 3 and 0 for 10 from the floor, including missing 2 chances to win it. Now, normally Greg Gard would say something to a freshman after a performance like that, but he didn't have to because Essegian was already thinking about his next made basket.
Every elite shooter is going to have one of those days. If you're doing this long enough, you're not going to avoid one of those. And the key is to have a short memory, you know, and he right away said, yep, I understand it. I'm good. Next one's in.
Basketball guys are humbling you right there. That's what that is. So, I mean, really, you know, I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but, you know, it's a great learning experience for me to be able to move on quickly.
Speaking of Joe Lunardi has the Badgers as one of his last 4 teams in the NCAA tournament in his latest bracketology. Wisconsin has 2 big opportunities this week to boost the resume with Iowa on Wednesday and Michigan on Sunday. After the NBA's All-Star Weekend, Giannis went to New York to have his wrist examined, and we can all let out a huge sigh of relief. The Bucks' big man avoided serious damage and suffered what ESPN and The Athletic are reporting is a sprained ligament in his right wrist. Giannis is expected to miss some time, but will be able to return to the court sooner than later. High school boys hoops, McFarland hosting Turner in the battle of the top 2 teams in the Rock Valley. Spartans got off to a fast start. Devin Culp spinning and winning for 2. McFarland jumped out to a 6-point lead. Turner would battle back. Tyshawn Teague Johnson working hard down low for the bucket. That makes it a 1-point game, but the home team would not be denied. Andrew Kelly all alone in the corner, and he splashes home the triple as McFarland takes down Turner to win the Rock. 70-62 is your final. And the Wisconsin women taking on Rutgers, and Marissa Mosley's squad was feeling it from deep. First quarter, Avery LaBarbera dials one up from distance to double up the Scarlet Knights. She made 4 triples and finished with 16 points. And then later, it's Julie P. for 3 more. She added in 17. As a team, the Badgers sunk 11 3-pointers. They blow out Rutgers 88-62, the final. Back to you.
Thanks, Zach. Hey, it's not too often you get to celebrate on a Tuesday, and next we are getting into the meaning of Mardi Gras.
Also ahead, candidates and special interest groups are forking over some big bucks to get your vote today. How the spending stacks up with the big races. We'll be right back.
Call for action only on News 3 Now.
Cobison Buses, now hiring.
My name's Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
Lean back and save big this winter at the Century House. Right now, save hundreds going from one grade of stressless leather to a superior grade for free. Or save $300 and get a free battery when you purchase any stressless mic or stressless max motorized recliner, or any stressless classic power recliner. Don't miss out. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Hey, Dad, look. This is the magma chamber where all the magma's piled up until...
Us. What happened to us? When did we get so connected to our devices?
She's not answering.
What? And so disconnected from each other.
79 cents.
Something's gone missing. Our relationships, our conversations, our common sense.
LT, we gotta fix this.
But just because something is missing doesn't mean it can't be found again. It's time for a reset, not just with our phones, but with each other.
Sorry.
Join us in taking the phones down for 5 challenge.
So we're using our phones to put down our phones?
Exactly.
So we just put them down?
I guess so. Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes.
Feels good.
And let's see what we find.
Hey, bud. Wow, that's good.
U.S. Cellular.
Depends on how much pressure there is.
Built for us.
You've got this. Your big moment on their big day. The dress? Another one you'll never wear. Gift? Practical. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you get invited to your 3rd destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
Madison liberals are trying to take over the Wisconsin Supreme Court. That's why we need to elect conservative Justice Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly has a proven record of protecting our freedoms and cast the deciding vote to end the COVID lockdowns of our schools and businesses. Sheriffs across Wisconsin have endorsed Dan Kelly because he has a record of enforcing the law. On February 21st, vote conservative Justice Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobeson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
6:25, it is Fat Tuesday, so it is Mardi Gras time down in New Orleans. Check out the festivities. Oh yeah, what is that? The famous
Bourbon Street.
Bourbon Street, that's it.
Right down from the French Quarter over there.
That's right. That's right. Check out all the characters there all dressed up.
That looks like a good time, doesn't it? You ever been to New Orleans, either of you?
Sure, 22-year-old me would be like, this looks like a blast.
Yeah, you're not far off.
Throw me those beads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the day before the season of Lent begins for Christians, and yeah, they're doing it up. So
yeah,
get all your indulging in today while you still can.
Looks like a good time for sure.
All right, let's get to that big forecast today, Kelly.
Yeah, we already have winter storm watches in effect for all of southern Wisconsin. This isn't until tomorrow afternoon into Thursday, so today mainly quiet, but tonight we could see some of that snow moving in. Temperatures are in the teens, and it's feeling colder with single numbers.
All right, we're going to hear from the Madison mayoral candidates here on primary day next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At Pick and Save, for everyone.
You can't buy happiness, but you can buy an RV at Wisconsin RV World, and that's pretty darn close. Find your happiness during their RV Super Sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. Save over $30,000 on this new Heartland fifth wheel. Get this Keystone Springdale for as low as $185 a month, or this Cruiser Radiance for only $240 a month. Plus, get a 1-year no-charge camping pass with every RV purchase.
Wisconsin RV World. If it doesn't say Wisconsin, it's just another RV dealer.
DePaco Credit Union protects your well-being, supports you through life's many surprises. Because when our members love life, it makes a brighter community for all. DePaco can help you be well.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
We so amazing.
The stylish Chevy Equinox RS. And Chevy Blazer RS.
So captivating.
You don't have to be an influencer to be an influencer.
The crowd go crazy.
The RS family of Chevy SUVs. Definitely worth a follow. Well-qualified buyers get 2.99% financing on all Equinox models, or get $1,000 cash allowance on all 2023 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
It's never been a better time for a fresh start with Feldco. Jumpstart your home's upgrade this month with 40% off Feldco windows, siding, doors, and roofing. Plus, no money down and no interest until 2024. Warmer weather's on its way. Get your home ready now and enjoy your windows all season long. Make your home feel new again with Feldco. But hurry, 40% off won't last long. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
When your door is always open, so is the fridge. At Pick and Save, however you shop, in-store, pickup, or delivery, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards. That's a win-win-win. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Polls open this morning, and today is all about the race for state Supreme Court and the Madison mayoral race. We're helping you prepare to vote. in the spring primary.
Everyone deserves access to fresh, nutritious food. That shouldn't depend on the size of your paycheck.
Also, a big investment to give people in Dane County critical access to fresh food. The taxpayer-funded program that just got a serious boost.
And winter storm watch is already posted for southern Wisconsin starting tomorrow afternoon right through Thursday. An update on the storm coming up.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a very busy Tuesday. I'm Shane Hogan.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for tuning in. Two big stories today. It is a spring primary. One of the biggest spring primaries we have seen in a very long time, with a highly contested seat that's open on the state Supreme Court. 4 candidates vying for that today. Madison mayoral race. And we have the weather to talk about. We have a couple of alert days.
Did you say spring primary?
Yeah, I know.
Well, we're talking about a winter storm. So, yeah, we got a winter storm that'll be moving on in. Therefore, winter storm watch is already affecting much of southern Wisconsin. Really not until tomorrow afternoon right through Thursday. And I think really tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night is really going to be problematic for most of southern Wisconsin, whether it's heavy snow to the north or significant ice accumulation down to the south. Right now it is cooling off with the temperatures down in the teens. That northwest wind ushering in some colder air. Still hanging on to 25 though in Janesville. We do have the alert day going into effect tonight, tomorrow, right through Thursday. So this is a long duration event, mainly affecting our northern viewers tonight with some of this light snow spreading on in. And then that'll change over to some mix of some sleet, freezing rain. That will cause some ice accumulation, especially down to Greene and Rock County. Quiet for now, so we got time to prepare for this, and just some clouds rolling in during the afternoon. By the rush hour, though, might start to see some of this lighter snow spreading in from Madison areas to the north. A little bit more accumulation up toward the Dells as that lifts up to the north. So a lot of things going on. Right now it's quiet. It's just cold out there. Bundle up with that west wind, bringing in some of that colder air. Temperatures in the 20s by the noon hour. We'll have an update more on that storm system coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, Kelly, thank you. To campaign 2023 now, some estimates show that spending in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race has topped more than $5 million. That's more than halfway to setting the state's record, and it's only primary day. To put that in comparison, that's what we might see a U.S. Senate candidate spend on their primary campaign, which is usually a much larger scale election than what we have now with an off-year spring election. And you might be asking, why so much outside spending on this Wisconsin race? Well, it's partially because not much else is happening elsewhere in the country.
Yes, there are governor's races in places like Louisiana. Those aren't swing states. If you're a national group that wants to try out, your latest GOT, get out the vote effort, you're looking at Wisconsin.
Most of that spending is driven by outside groups. According to WISCPolitics.com, 3.7 of that $5 million comes from outside groups, while 1.3 million is from the candidates themselves.
That state Supreme Court race, the only statewide race on the ballot today. It's technically a nonpartisan race, and the outcome could tip the currently conservative-leaning court the opposite way. The candidates are Janet Protasewicz, Everett Mitchell, Jennifer Dorough, and Dan Kelly. The top 2 move on to April. Today, Madison voters will narrow down the choice for mayor to 2. Incumbent Santi Rhodes Conway is on the ballot. She's going up against Gloria Reyes, a former president of the Madison School Board, and Scott Kerr, a longtime city employee. We talked to all the candidates recently at one of their forums.
I think that it's clear that, I have a strong record of accomplishing not only what I promised I would accomplish in this first term, but also dealing with a global pandemic, a state legislature which seems to be determined to get in our way on a number of things, standing up for our democracy, making progress in public safety.
Public safety is critical. I think I have a long history and an expert around public safety challenges, and we really need to hone in and identify trends that can significantly impact our communities in the future.
Well, I'm definitely different because I'm not spending the money and I'm not appearing in your mailbox or your voicemail every day. But also, I'm the only one that's been a city employee for over 40 years. I've been a Madison resident my entire life. I know the city well. I love the city. I've strived to make it better in every job I've had, so this is just one more chance to do that.
The top 2 vote getters in the Madison mayoral race will move on to the spring election, April 4th.
If you're planning on voting in today's primary, polls open up in just under a half hour at 7 a.m. And if you're new to Wisconsin or still not a registered voter, you can register at your polling place ahead of voting this morning.
And remember to look for your polling place. You can just visit myvote.wi.gov. There you can put your address in and it'll spit out the closest polling location near you. And you can find everything you need to know about today's election up at channel3000.com. Just look for our campaign 2023 section on the homepage right below the Plan My Day forecast. We've compiled all the races we're following, as well as everything you need to know to make your choice today, including all the interviews that we have done with the candidates leading up to today.
6:35 now. A teenager charged with attempted homicide is scheduled to be in court this morning. Quamaine Kelly is also charged with felony burglary with a dangerous weapon. This incident happened in January of 2022 in Madison on Crawling Stone Road. Prosecutors say a homeowner caught Kelly trying to steal his car out of his garage, and Kelly tried to shoot him. Investigators say Kelly was involved in dozens of other incidents, including stolen automobiles and burglaries. Kelly has an arraignment at 1:15 this afternoon.
A man under arrest this morning accused of stealing a truck and then crashing it on the west side. Police say the man stole a truck from a gas station on Verona Road, just off the Beltline near the U-Haul and the Home Depot. The man then crashed the truck into a nearby concrete divider, and police ended up chasing him after the man and a woman got out and ran off. After looking at footprints in the snow and calling in a canine unit, the man and woman were arrested. The man was taken to a nearby hospital, then to the Dane County Jail. He's facing charges of operating a vehicle without the owner's consent.
New information this morning in Oregon. A former community pool employee is facing possible charges for sexual assault of a minor. In a message to families, the school district says it's working with police in the case. The district has not yet named the employee or released any further details, citing student privacy. This is a developing story, and we will update you as we learn more.
More money is being used to help with food insecurity here in Dane County. County Executive Joe Parisi is allocating $6 million to continue the Farm to Food Bank initiative. He says it's a critical time to continue funding the program. You see, temporary increases to the federal and state food stamp benefits that were designed to help families cope with the financial impacts of the pandemic are set to expire at the end of the month.
Farm to Food Bank should be a nationwide model. It's not only the right thing to do, it provides nutritious food to everyone, and everyone deserves access to fresh, nutritious food. That shouldn't depend on the size of your paycheck.
Since 2020, Dane County has invested $20 million to acquire and distribute well over 12 million pounds of food that's locally sourced.
Take a look at this. A bicycle shop in California is offering big discounts for people who adopt and foster animals. The owner said they came up with the idea to celebrate those who help out our furry friends and give them forever homes. They offer vouchers for discounts on all bicycles in the store and special offers. If you're looking for a pet and a bike, Chris, it is only a 30-hour drive to Elk Grove, California. You got 30 hours to spare?
I don't.
You could add a couple pets to that household of yours.
Yeah, like I need another life to take care of.
Oh, man. Hey, good cause, though, and obviously, hey, for the price of one, you can get a bike and a furry friend.
I know.
I like it.
It's tempting to adopt another one, but yeah, I got enough milk to feed.
Yes, you do.
4 kids, 2 little puppers at home. I'm good. 6:38 now. Coming up later, we've got morning sprint. We got breakdowns on the Supreme Court race. We have a lot to get to this morning. And as we take a look outside this morning, the big story of the day is that alert day forecast. We have a couple rounds of winter weather headed our way. Who's going to see ice? Who's going to see snow? Who could see nothing? That's coming up in your first one forecast.
And I hope you boys are hungry, because we're talking Poonchkis on this Fat Tuesday. It's about to get messy in the 608. You're not going to want to miss it. Stick around.
Right now, get an extra 25% off Slumberland's low prices during the final week of our huge President's Sale. Come see our special offers throughout the store. The final week of our huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture with an extra 25% off.
At Overture, February 21st through 26th, tickets at overture.org.
I like to move it. You like to move it.
We're reinventing our network.
Move it. I like to move it.
reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service.
Garage doors are just like us. They don't like the cold weather. But if it breaks, Precision Garage Door is always ready. We always show up in a fully stocked vehicle so we can get the job done today.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
At Fearing's Audio Video Security, our people, vision, and values drive superior technology solutions that result in great customer experiences. Choosing the right technology solutions can be daunting. From consultation and design to installation and support of your AV and security systems, our team communicates and guides each step. Fearing's Audio Video Security, making a difference for our customers and our world. Visit fearings.com.
After violence turned Waukesha's Christmas parade into tragedy, Judge Jennifer Doro ensured justice was served, maintaining order, protecting the rights of victims. Her Grace Under Fire won praise nationally. Now Judge Jennifer Doro is ready to serve on the Supreme Court. Wife, mother, prosecutor. Judge Doro's life's work is keeping Wisconsin families safe. It's no surprise Judge Doro is law enforcement's choice. The tested judicial leader, Judge Jennifer Doro for Supreme Court.
Right now, get an extra 25% off Slumberland's low prices during the final week of our huge President's Sale. Come see our special offers throughout the store. The final week of our huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture with an extra 25% off.
Another winter storm brings us alert days from Tuesday night through Thursday. We're tracking a mix of sleet, freezing rain, and snow that will create dangerous driving conditions. Stay safe and connected with First Warn Weather on channel3000.com and the First Warn Weather app.
For 20% of its victims, the fallout from concussion can last months or years.
It affects their work, their family life. It affects everything.
News 3 Now, Charlotte Deleste shares her personal battle with the invisible injury. Thursday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
All right, we're back at 6:42. There was a new generous donation just made to the Urban League of Greater Madison for its soon-to-be-built Black Business Hub. Ascenium is donating $2.5 million to help the construction of the hub, which will be located on Madison's south side. The Urban League of Greater Madison and Ascenium have worked together in a partnership dating back to 2009. Ascenium made a similar donation, which helped push the organization toward its fundraising goal to expand its programming and relocate to the south side.
The Black Business Hub will not only be a beautiful building, but a symbol of hope for our community, a place to dream, plan, and work towards a successful future.
Data shows the disparities in access to these opportunities are worse in Dane County than they are in other places in the nation.
All right, 6:43 now. Kelly Slifka is here with your First Warn Weather. A lot to get to today, Kelly.
Yeah, we have an alert day going into effect tonight, and that'll continue tomorrow, even into Thursday, so long duration. Now, I think tonight will mainly be affecting areas from Madison to the north. That'll be some snow that'll be moving on in, but it's mainly tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. That's when we're expecting widespread snow, sleet, and ice accumulations with some freezing rain. Heavy snow looks like, though, will be developing north of Wisconsin Dells when all is said and done. Ice along the Illinois border in between Madison, we'll see a bit of both. So all of us going to be affected, but I think the main impacts are going to be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night into Thursday morning as far as travel and some of that ice accumulation that could cause some power outages as well. All right, we've had the wind stir up behind a cold front overnight, and that's why the wind chill is down to 4. 1 in Monroe, even down to a 1 below in Mineral Point. Watertown currently 3, 7 in Juneau. The actual temperatures, most areas in the teens. Janesville, kind of a heat island yet, sitting at 25 right now, though, across Dane County. 17 in Sun Prairie, 18 in Cottage Grove, Oregon 18, and Cross Plains currently 16 degrees. These are the actual temperatures. Winter storm watch is already into effect for southern Wisconsin. This isn't until tomorrow afternoon, right through Thursday afternoon, but blizzard warnings just west of the Twin Cities metro area, where we're talking about 1 to 2 feet of snow, and of course a lot of wind out there where it's pretty flat and open there in western Minnesota. So here's our Clipper system that'll be moving in tonight. That's what's going to produce that light snow, mainly from Madison to the north. The secondary system is going to come in from the south, and that's going to bring in the moisture and the warmer air that's going to ride up and over the cold air at the surface, producing that sleet, freezing rain developing tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. So initially that light snow moves in tonight, mainly from Madison to the north. May see a couple of inches of snow accumulation up there as that'll be tracking on in. Madison, maybe upwards of an inch. Areas to the south, basically nothing. It's Wednesday morning. We're starting to see some of this mix develop down to our south. Later in the morning, that lifts to the north, runs into some of that cold air. You get the sleet, the freezing rain, a little bit of snow, mainly snow north of Dane County. Mainly ice along the border there toward Illinois as temperatures remain below freezing. So some of that ice will be continuing to accumulate as we go into a Wednesday night, even into a Thursday morning. Still seeing some of the ice show up. Eventually it'll change over to all snow as it cools off enough that it'll be mainly snow, and most of that should be lifting out during the morning hours, and then we're just setting up for some cold weather to continue right into Friday. As far as some of that ice accumulation, maybe upwards of a quarter. Some locations near the Illinois border could be upwards of a half of an inch. Mainly light icing expected, at least for now, here in the Madison area. So snowfall rates or snowfall amounts are going to range quite a bit. Less amounts 1 to 3 to the south, Madison 3 to 6. You get north of the Dells. Talking about maybe upwards of a foot, and even heavier snow up toward Eau Claire and parts of Minnesota. Maybe upwards of a foot to 2 feet of snow. So the first warn forecast, some of that snow developing late today, tonight, mainly Madison to the north. Main areas of concern will be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. That's when we're looking at that accumulation of snow and also some ice accumulation to the south. A cold Friday, but warming up, and another nice weekend with temperatures in the 30s.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Well, it is Fat Tuesday here in the 608. That means it's time to enjoy all the things that come with the Mardi Gras holiday.
Potato, potato, tomato, tomato, punchki, punchki.
There you go.
What say you, Josh Spreiter?
Punchki. You know, I love a good punchki, guys. This has been a tradition for us here on News 3 Now this morning for many years now, and we're happy to be back here at Lane's Bakery. Of course, we've got the punchkis in front of us. We have the voodoo doll and the ever-popular king cake here. So these are all available right now as doors are open, and we've been seeing a steady flow of customers ever since they opened their doors here at 6 o'clock. So that is expected to remain. This is the busiest day here for Chuck Lane.
Actually, it is. It is. It's,
how are things going so far?
Really good. We're scrambling in back, though. We had people trying to put orders together, and, you know, it's working, though. It'll work. We'll get through this, and, you know.
When you have a big day like that, obviously your team remains the same, so you just have to crank out that much more product.
Yeah, it remains the same, and everybody's on a different stress level. You know, it's kind of like, well, we got to get this and this. It's working out just fine.
And it's kind of a fun stress for you guys because you get to see the, you know, happiness of your customers.
Yeah, we do. And it makes me feel good that, you know, we have a great product, and I just love to see people come in. Like this morning, they were lined up all the way down to the end of the, you know, building. So it's like, hey, great.
So you've been doing this to close to 40 years now.
40 years, correct.
And how long has Lane's been around?
Since 1954.
1954.
So, yeah.
So you got a little news to share with our folks at home today.
Yeah, you know, it's been a great run. Enjoy what I do, but at the end of this year, our lease is up, and we are no longer gonna, you know, remain in business. We're for sale right now, and hopefully somebody sees this that, you know, really wants to put some hard work in and be successful. It is a great business, just a lot of work.
This has been very, very special for your family for decades.
Oh, correct. And both of my parents and my dad, father passed away, it's been 2 years now, and he always wanted my mother to see. And I said, she sees what's going on. I said, she sees it. So, yeah, it's been a fun run, but I've been, you know, it's been 40 years, and it's time to slow down a little bit, change pace, and, you know, try something different.
Yeah, and your wife works right alongside you. She's busy behind the counter. So you guys are looking forward to your next phase of life.
Yeah, correct. And it's, you know, it's good and bad. You know, I feel sad about it, but in another way, I'm like, hey, you know, we've done a good job. I just would love to see somebody come in here and take over.
Well, hopefully we can make that happen here. Somebody's watching this morning. Congratulations to you. I mean, that's an incredible run for you. And thank you for having us out here for your final Fat Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It's been great.
You know I like to get messy here.
Oh, boy.
People, I still have stopping me on the street. So we're going to celebrate, and we're going to get a little messy here on News 3 Now this morning. I'm calling this the Punchki Poof.
Oh, Joshy, never change. Oh,
good as always. Chuck, thank you so much today. Congratulations. Good luck today.
Thank you for coming in. It's been great.
Hey guys, what do you think?
Looking great. Never looked better, Josh. Never looked better. Oh, that is that is really sad to hear.
Breaking some news this morning for us too.
Yeah, about Lane's. I mean, like we were talking, we always love it when Josh goes here.
Right.
The list of excellent Madison bakeries is not very long.
Right.
And Lane's is on there. Yeah, hopefully somebody gets in there and picks it up. Because they're, after 40 years.
Yeah, congratulations. What a run. What a run for sure.
Boy. All right, let's get over to, by the way, if you have something that inspires you, Josh wants to hear from you. He's really easy to get a hold of. He loves to hear from you, always responds back. Reach out to him on social media or email him for a chance to be featured.
And coming up in the morning sprint, a big construction project officially underway on Madison's east side.
And we want to say happy birthday to Sophie and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Every family is a little bit different, and we'd all love life to be a little bit simpler. No matter where you work or how hard you play, you need reliable appliances to help you conquer the inevitable hectic day. Whether you're optimizing space for the next great race or looking for a quiet place, Criterion appliances are ready when you are.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other? And when our phones have turned us into this? LT, what do you do when you're a company that sells them? We gotta fix this. It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. Feels good. And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford SUV, like Bronco, Explorer, or the new Escape. Get here to get a deal on the SUV's #1 in brand loyalty. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose Flex Buy on Escape, Edge, or Explorer with 3.9% APR financing for 66 months plus 1,000 Auto Show cash.
This President's Day, we're throwing a 5-star celebration at Bob's Discount Furniture, making it super easy to shop my top-rated products, like my Avenger and Forte collections. Both have power reclining Bobapedic seats, USB ports, a drop-down table in the sofa, luxurious upholstery, and a storage console in the love seat. Just $9.99 each. And the reviews are flying in with 2,500 and counting. So check out the Avenger and Forte motion collections this President's Day weekend at Bob's.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Watch News 3 Now at 5 with Eric, Susan, and Gary. Weeknights.
6:54, time for the morning sprint.
We start today with the big primary election. If you're planning on voting today, the polls open in just about 5 minutes. Around the state, 4 Supreme Court candidates are on the ballot, and in Madison, 3 candidates looking for the mayoral seat. If you're new to Wisconsin or still not a registered voter, you can register at your polling place ahead of voting.
A big reconstruction project on the east side now officially underway. Atwood Avenue from South Fair Oaks to Cottage Grove has started. This stretch of road runs right by Olbrich Park and Lake Monona. The project's being done to improve safety for cyclists and pedestrians with new separated paths. It's scheduled to wrap up this fall.
A man died after being hit by a train in Watertown. This happened Friday night, but police confirming it yesterday. They say the crash happened around 6:30 near West Main and Hiawatha Streets. The police chief says while an investigation into the incident is still ongoing, there is no indication of criminal activity. And you wouldn't guess it by looking at her, but this is Irene Fee, and she is celebrating her 105th birthday. She was born back in 1918 and remembers going to church in a horse and buggy. Irene's tips for staying young, well, they're to look forward and to keep the mind and body active. And the most important piece of advice, she says, is to not just sit around and talk about your age.
We'll take a look at this, a snowy scene in Siberia. Igloo building, generally an Inuit tradition in Canada and Greenland, but these 2,000 Siberians are taking part in their own igloo building contest. They built over 300 of them. They built, almost 200. More than 300 people took part. It set a new record. Participants say the key to success is teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
All right, good morning. First warn meteorologist Kelly Slifka. We do have winter storm watches in effect. This is tomorrow afternoon right through Thursday afternoon. They already have winter storm warnings in effect for tonight. Areas up north as you get into west central Wisconsin, but mainly quiet throughout most of today. But by tonight, we'll see some snow starting to spread in. Right now, the wind chills are cold. Temperatures in the teens this morning, warming into low 30s. Some light snow spreading in as we get toward the rush hour after sunset, mainly from Madison areas to the north. But then it gets active. We've got the alert day for Wednesday and Thursday. Looking at some snow, a mix of sleet, snow, and freezing rain, and some more snow Thursday before quieting down for the upcoming weekend.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Keep it here. We have a news and weather update coming up in 30 minutes.